Unfortunately, we have a high population of renters that come and go. So it's hard for people to get to know other people in our neighborhood when there is somewhat of a transient population in maybe 50% of the houses. So when we have an organization that's trying to help bring the neighbors together, all sort of supporting the same, the same ideals, with the same goals, right, is to make it safer.
Vacant buildings, which can be havens for all sort of illegal activity and just, disorder, having graffiti tags and things like that can really indicate to somebody that this is not a looked after property. So I can do more here, right? So to have a proactive system that addresses that before it becomes a 3011 complaint, before it becomes a 911 complaint, is really incredibly important, not only for that building itself, but for the surrounding neighborhood.
Having vacant buildings in the neighborhood that aren't being taken care of, that we're constantly having to call the city on to come out and cut, get these guys to cut the grass, get them to cut their bushes, that has sort of a ripple effect into the neighborhood, where if everybody's taking good care of their place, then people feel proud and are more apt to do that. But when you see all these other places that are not being taken care of, and people move out and then just leave all the furniture on the front lawn, that's not okay. Or dump it onto a vacant land, a vacant lot, because in the middle of the night, they just, they'll dump it someplace to get rid of it.
I talked to the news and got involved with the initiative, and we're just working hard on cleaning everything up. Somebody's got to do something. Might as well be me. It's not going to go away if you ignore it. Glengarry Marintet Initiative has put us in contact with city councillors and police department and AIDS committee, different things like that, different avenues that can help us with needle pickup, with litter, with whatever issues that come along. If we didn't have the initiative support, there's no way I would have known to do anything. And it would just continue the way it is, the way it has been for the last few years. There would be no change. So these guys really are a godsend. But yeah, there wasn't much there to pick up.
A big win this year, I think, is actually meeting people like Mary Jane and the other people that are in our group, and also meeting the owners of these buildings that Mary Jane is talking about. There's conversation happening, and while the changes themselves you may look at them as a small win, they're pretty big when it comes to something that's been sitting for so long. And then now, because we're bringing in residents and owners who aren't necessarily living in the area, and we're all talking together, that that conversation and the idea that we will be making changes to the buildings is pretty important.
Across our priority neighborhoods, residents have successfully advocated for additional bylaw enforcement officers to address neglected vacant buildings. This has resulted in the City of Windsor investing in a team of officers to handle resident concerns in their communities. There's still a lot of work to be done. With the media reporting over 700 vacant properties on the list to be tackled, it'll take time for the bylaw officers to overcome the challenge. But this is a great step by the City of Windsor to invest in these communities and to tackle the challenges that the residents have identified to make them a happier, healthier place to live.
A lot of the good feeling has come from residents, from the idea that they feel like they've been heard.